Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Hugo, and today we're going to see what's going to be the best stocks for this week. We're going to do a market analysis of what's going to happen in April, and we're going to see the performance of my portfolio. So stay around. Before we start the video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Only 3.9% of my viewers are subscribers, and I need your help to reach the 1000 subscribers. So smash that button. Let's get back to the video. So we're starting the week with AT&T, the ticker T, with a dividend yield of 6.87%. This is one of the stocks that pays more dividends on my portfolio. It's a little bit below the ET, and they pay quarterly January, April, July, and October. They are undervalued in 62.6%. The ex-dividend date is on the 7th of April, meaning if you buy today, you may receive the dividends for this stock because you still have the 2 days, the full 2 days that eToro needs to process your order. The financial health is a G. They have more liabilities than assets. They have around 1 billion, but overall this is almost nothing comparing to the amount of money they generate and the profits they get every single year and the growth they have as well. The market sentiment is a hold. They have increased in the past few days because there was a shift in the market, and this is one of the blue chips that we should have on our portfolio that has been increasing since ever and with a good dividend yield of 6%. And actually the dividend yield had increased in the past quarter, and the earnings for this stock are forecast around 40% for the upcoming year. So this is a good stock to have on your portfolio. But in stocks like this with high dividend yield, all the earnings usually they never cover the dividends. So this is something that we always have in consideration, but we are talking about high dividend yields, and sometimes they fluctuate along the time. This ticker DLG.L, Direct Line Group, it's a UK stock. They have a dividend yield of 7.04%. They are insurance company as Lumen, which is also one of the good stocks to have on your portfolio. The only thing that I don't like in this kind of stocks, the UK stocks, and this is quite common, is they only pay biannually. So if you miss the ex-dividend dates, you need to wait another 6 months to get in again. They are undervalued in 44.8%, which is quite good, and the ex-dividend date on the 7th of April. Since this stock is going to be on the 7th of April, and eToro needs the 2 days, but to be more sure, I'll prefer 3 days. I won't go for this stock for this moment, so I'll add this to my watch list instead of buying right now. They have a financial health of BB. They are not great. We have other stocks in the US markets with similar as financial institutions like the Lumen, which more preferable. They have a higher dividend yield. They only pay biannually as well. I probably will go for Lumen than actually this one. Beside, they have a nice dividend yield as well. And the financial health is not great, but since they've decreased in the past months and if we have a market sentiment of buy, probably I'll go for a short term, not for a long term. And these are the only two stocks we have for this week with a higher dividend yield of 5%. So now let's look into the market. The market analysis that I wanted to do for this month, I wanted to go a little bit more deeper to see what's going to be the tendency of the market for this month. So now let's go jump into the graphs. Based on the 5-year analysis, what we're going to assume is we're going to have a strong April, and the tendency after the long weekend, we have a good feeling on the market, usually the prices going up for the next upcoming days. So I'm assuming that we're going to have a really positive week for the markets. So now let's go more in depth with the SP 500. With the SP 500, we're going to have here a resistance around the 4,100s, and this may going to take some time to reach there. We assuming this is going to be something like this for the next upcoming weeks. So we're going to have a rise, and then we're going to have a down, and then going back over again. For the first time, we reached the 4K, and I believe that we're going to reach the 41,000 in the next upcoming weeks or so, unless in something in contrary on the market that happened and may cause a different shift on the market. But this is going to be the normal tendency. Let's look here to the market for an hour, and it seems that we're going to have exactly the same tendency, and maybe this going down the next coming weeks, more towards the end of the month. And also here, the MAC tell us that we're going to have a bearish market for the next upcoming week. I don't see the tendency to go down only for the more towards the end of the month. So let's see what's going to happen. It's getting close, but let's see what's going to happen at the end of this week, if these 2 points are going to merge. Otherwise, we start to have a bearish market, but I doubt it. This is going to have, we usually have a positive sentiment on the markets after a long weekend, and this probably is what's going to happen. Let's see. So if you want to copy all the trades that I have, you can search my nickname on the eToro, and you can use the link on the description and even the spreadsheet that I'm going to show you later on, where you can simulate your copy. So my portfolio overperformed the market in 3% this week. The market had an increase of 3% and my portfolio around 6.11%. Since inception, we had increased around 1.5% since last week, which we were around the 15%, and now we have 16.11%. So the top 5 stocks for this week, we have Facebook with an increase of 7.15%, although I'm going to have some considerations on Facebook in this week because there was a breach of data during the weekend, and this may cause the stocks to go down. So we need to have some eyes on this to see if it goes down. Probably we'll do some averaging or even sell it, but let's see what's going to happen. International Consolidated Airlines Group, this is a European consolidating group which is with UK and France. They have increase of, and other countries as well, they have the increase of 6.72%, which some flights in some countries already started to become more normal. Although this is not entirely for the entire European Union, we still have restrictions on COVID. Maybe on the next week some restrictions will be lifted in some European countries, and therefore this stock will increase as well. The ARG ETF, which had an increase of 6.4%, bear in mind that 18% of the value of this ETF are indexed to the price of the Tesla. So Tesla actually didn't increase so much, but we have other stocks in this ETF that increase, which had balance with the decrease of Tesla. Corsair Gaming was actually one of the stocks that I did some investments as well. We had some average on the past few weeks where it was on the dip, and we got the chance to get this increase, which was amazing, and we got a lot of profits from this stock. Walgreens Boots, it's also one of the blue chips that I have on my stock and had an increase of 5.23%. It's not the highest dividend yield that is paying, actually it's around the same as Coca-Cola, but although it's a blue chip that I have on my stock, and I'm assuming they will increase in the future as well. This week we had as payments Coca-Cola and AVGO. We didn't have any new acquisitions because I wanted to do some averaging, and I'm still seeing what's going on with the rest of the markets. In terms of open orders, I have ADA. I want to increase the stacking because they repay around 4% and is really good to receive this every single month. Activision, they were overvalued around 35% and now they have around 20%. So that's why I'm going to put an order on around 15% of overvalued. So in case of going down more than those 50%, I have some bandwidth to work with. So if it grows, fine. If it goes down, I can do some averaging. I won't have a decrease of 20% or 30% that suddenly went down around 40% or more. Qualcomm, exactly the same thing. They were overvalued around 35%. They reduced now around 20% with a big decrease. Disney as well is one of those that I want to have on my portfolio. They don't have the highest dividend yields, but is a growth stock, and they've been increasing since ever. And Disney is one of the stocks that I trust and I like, and I want to have on my portfolio as well. And the Tencent as well, the Chinese stock, which finally they decreased around 30% on the past weeks, and now it's a good time to get in, although they are still overvalued around 10%. But based on the graphs and analysis that I've done, this is a good time to buy since the Chinese market in the overall went down around 5% in the last month. I've done some averaging on golds. The top pairs is still ET, the top dividend yield is still MZA, and the portfolio is undervalued around 40%. Although if these orders that I have open, if they get in, we are going to see some undervalued being decreased in 40%, around 39%, because of those stocks are still overvalued, and this will affect my overall portfolio, but won't be a big of impact. I may lose 1 point percentual in as a portfolio undervalued. So we still are going to have a lot of growth. In terms of future growth, we're going to have 29%, 0.8, and the stock volatility is going to be PFG and Unilever as the lowest stock volatility. So now let's look into our spreadsheets. Once again, I already updated this on the past Friday with the latest price, except the crypto, which they vary during the week. And here you need to put your percentage that you have for those stocks, so you can have a full view of how much you're going to receive per month. So for this week, we're going to have gold as averaging, and we also received the payments from Coca-Cola, which was here, and AVGO was this week as well. There's still some dispute going on with eToro, which had opened a ticket to receive the dividends for the MZA, which we didn't receive so far, and this is something that is going on, and I'm starting to be a bit concerned with this stock, if they're going to pay us. If they don't going to pay us, probably I'm going to shift this and sell this and buy a stock more stable like AGNC or Main, that is more certain, this AMZA. But until I receive any information from eToro, I'm not going to do any action in terms of selling AZM, because they are really high dividend yield. They are really good. They pay a lot. They've been increasing as well. I don't know what's going on, to be fair with you. And this still we dispute with eToro to see when we're going to receive the payment for this. So I hope you enjoyed the tips for this week. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to help me. Don't forget to hit the bell so you can receive the video for the upcoming week. And also, if you want to comment with something that I may forgot or any help that you need, leave a comment. I'll answer to you as soon as possible. So once again, thank you and see you next week. Cheers.